Reaching our 60s and beyond marks the beginning of a profound transformation in our lives. It is not merely a transition into retirement or a symbolic entry into what many call the golden years. Rather, it is a stage when we are invited to look inward and engage in deep reflection about our life's journey. After decades of dedicated work, raising families, and navigating the many challenges that life has set before us, we gradually come to the understanding that the habits, expectations, and mindsets that once seemed indispensable may have become obstacles to living the fullest version of who we are. At this point in our lives, we recognize that these formerly necessary practices might now be impeding our ability to experience the freedom and joy that we truly deserve. In essence, this period of life becomes an opportunity for personal renewal, a chance to reclaim our time, energy, and emotional freedom, and to embrace life on our own terms, without being constrained by the external pressures that often defined our earlier years. In the reflections that follow, I share insights that have brought me immense peace and contentment since I stepped into my 60s. These reflections, which have helped me to let go of unnecessary burdens, are offered in the hope that they will resonate with you as well and provide gentle guidance on your own journey through this transformative phase of life. For many years, we are conditioned to be overly concerned with what others think of us. Throughout our younger days and even well into midlife, society teaches us to seek validation from external sources, whether it comes from family, friends, colleagues, or even acquaintances we barely know. We become deeply invested in the opinions and judgments of those around us, allowing their evaluations to dictate our choices, influence our actions, and shape our self-perception. In matters ranging from our career decisions to the way we nurture our families, and even the way we present ourselves physically, we are caught in a relentless cycle of seeking external approval. I too once found myself trapped in this cycle. There was a period when every aspect of my life, from the way I dressed to the manner in which I arranged my home, and even the minutiae of my retirement plans, was subject to the ever-watchful eye of public opinion. I vividly recall the days when even trivial comments, such as a remark about the brightness of my smile or a passing observation about my choice of leisure activities, would affect my mood and self-esteem. I questioned why I should allow the fleeting opinions of others to dictate the contours of my life. With time and experience, I came to see that the only judgment that truly matters is the one I pass on myself. In the process of shedding the weight of external validation, I discovered a liberating truth: that other people's opinions are by nature subjective reflections of their own inner insecurities and biases, rather than accurate assessments of who I am. When I made the conscious decision to let go of the need to be liked or approved by everyone around me, I felt an overwhelming sense of relief and freedom. I began to appreciate my own uniqueness, embracing not only my strengths, but also my imperfections and quirks. In doing so, I reclaimed my authenticity and freed myself from the exhausting, often self-destructive habit of constantly trying to please others. This journey of self-acceptance has allowed me to live more fully and truly on my own terms, a gift that I believe every person deserves to experience as they mature. Another significant insight that I have embraced in this stage of life is the importance of limiting my exposure to individuals whose behavior is consistently difficult or toxic. In our earlier years, whether at work, within our social circles, or even among family members, we often feel compelled to endure the company of people who are overly critical, controlling, or habitually negative. There is an almost unspoken societal expectation that we must tolerate these difficult personalities, often out of a sense of duty, loyalty, or even fear of confrontation. I recall vividly the many years when I allowed myself to be surrounded by individuals whose constant negativity and need for control left me feeling emotionally depleted. I accepted criticism and drama as unavoidable parts of life, simply because I believed that I had little choice in the matter. However, as I matured and entered my 60s, I began to understand that protecting my inner peace was not only desirable, but essential for my overall well-being. I came to realize that I did not have to subject myself to a continuous barrage of negativity, disrespect, or emotional manipulation. Instead, I learned that it was both acceptable and necessary to create boundaries that shielded me from harmful influences. This new perspective was not about severing ties in a dramatic or uncompromising manner, Rather, it was about being judicious with my time and energy, reserving them for those who uplift and support me. I discovered that, in life, we often become the average of the people with whom we spend the most time. When our immediate surroundings are filled with individuals who are kind, supportive, and optimistic, our spirits naturally rise and we feel more content. Conversely, constant exposure to negativity, criticism, or toxic behavior can drag us down, leaving us feeling small and depleted. Life, I have learned, is too short to be spent in the company of those who drain our energy. By choosing to distance myself from consistently negative influences, I have created a nurturing environment that allows positive relationships to flourish and, in turn, has enhanced my emotional well-being. In addition to these shifts, I have come to understand the profound value of letting go of unrealistic expectations of others. For much of my life, I clung to the belief that people should behave in certain ways, meeting standards that I considered not only reasonable but essential. Whether it was in professional settings, personal friendships, or within the dynamics of family life, I held others to a high standard that I believed was non-negotiable. Inevitably, when those expectations were not met, disappointment and frustration would follow, sometimes even leading to conflicts that seemed insurmountable. With the wisdom that accompanies age, I began to see that people are shaped by their own experiences, values, and limitations. It is unrealistic to expect anyone to conform perfectly to our personal ideals, and in doing so, we set ourselves up for continuous letdowns. As I stepped into my 60s, I made a conscious effort to release these rigid expectations. I learned that it is far more liberating to accept people as they are, with all their inherent imperfections, than it is to dwell on how they fall short of our ideals. This shift in perspective has allowed me to experience a greater sense of peace and understanding. No longer burdened by the weight of unmet expectations, I have found that I can enjoy my relationships and interactions in a more relaxed and accepting manner. This does not imply that I condone bad behavior or allow myself to be mistreated. Rather, it means that I have learned to adjust my own expectations, focusing on what is within my control, my own actions and responses, rather than attempting to change others. This newfound acceptance has not only alleviated the emotional toll of perpetual disappointment, but has also opened the door to deeper, more meaningful connections with those around me. A further transformation that has taken shape in my life is the decision to simplify my goals. In the vigor of youth, many of us are driven by an almost insatiable ambition, a desire to conquer the world with complex, long-term plans that map out every step of our journey. I was once a firm believer in the power of meticulous planning, using detailed spreadsheets, vision boards, and elaborate systems to track my progress toward lofty career milestones and personal achievements. The allure of ambition and the satisfaction of setting and reaching difficult goals were powerful motivators that pushed me to excel in various aspects of life. However, as I transitioned into my 60s, I began to notice that the very framework of goal setting that once propelled me forward was now becoming a source of undue pressure and anxiety. I realized that what I truly desired in this stage of life was not the constant pursuit of ever more ambitious targets, but rather the opportunity to enjoy the present moment, to focus on achievable, immediate objectives that enriched my daily experience. I gradually shifted my perspective from a fixation on long-term achievements to an appreciation for the beauty of simplicity. My new goals were not centered on the next big career milestone or an elaborate plan for the distant future. Instead, they were about savoring the joy of the here and now, whether it meant spending quality time with loved ones, exploring a new hobby, or simply taking the time to appreciate the world around me. I found that a simpler, more focused set of objectives brought with it a sense of balance and contentment that I had not known before. This reorientation of priorities has allowed me to let go of the relentless pressure to constantly achieve and instead embrace a lifestyle that values presence and mindfulness. In choosing to simplify my goals, I have reclaimed a sense of freedom, one that enables me to experience life more fully and to appreciate the small, yet significant, moments that define each day. Yet another essential adjustment that I have made as I entered my 60s is the decision to stop trying to remain in a state of constant busyness. In the earlier phases of our lives, many of us are conditioned to equate our self-worth with our level of productivity. We are taught that every minute must be accounted for, that there is always another task to complete, another goal to reach, and that our value as individuals is measured by the sheer volume of our accomplishment. This mentality, ingrained over years of hard work and societal expectations, often leaves us in a perpetual state of hurried activity, a state in which the idea of simply being, without the need to constantly do, seems almost unthinkable. I too once subscribed wholeheartedly to this ideology. The relentless pursuit of productivity was a defining feature of my younger years, and I would often feel a pang of guilt or anxiety during moments of rest, as if idleness were synonymous with failure. However, as I embraced the freedom of my 60s, I discovered that the constant need to stay busy was not only unsustainable, but also unnecessary. Retirement and the subsequent years have granted me the priceless gift of time, a resource that allows for both purposeful engagement and serene inactivity. I have learned that there is profound joy and restorative power in doing nothing at times. Whether it is savoring a quiet moment with a warm cup of coffee, taking a slow, contemplative walk, or simply allowing my thoughts to wander without constraint, I have come to cherish these moments of stillness. They provide a counterbalance to the frenetic pace of earlier years and offer a space in which I can reconnect with my inner self. It is not that I have abandoned routine or the desire to remain physically and mentally active. Rather, I have learned to discern when it is appropriate to engage and when it is equally important to rest. Listening to my own needs has become a guiding principle. On days when I feel energetic, I welcome the opportunity to dive into creative projects or physical activities, and on days when my spirit calls for quiet reflection, I honor that need without guilt. This balanced approach has allowed me to break free from the exhausting cycle of constant busyness and to appreciate the inherent value of both activity and repose. In addition to these transformations, one of the most significant lessons I have learned over the years is the importance of releasing the burden of past mistakes. By the time we reach our 60s, it is almost inevitable that we have accumulated regrets. Memories of choices made, opportunities missed, and errors committed along the way. These regrets can cast a long shadow over our lives, coloring our present experiences with a lingering sense of what might have been. For a long time, I found myself trapped in the cycle of ruminating over past missteps, wondering how different my life might have been if I had chosen an alternate path or made different decisions at critical moments. The weight of these reflections was, at times, overwhelming, creating a persistent undercurrent of sorrow and self-reproach that threatened to undermine my sense of self-worth. However, as I matured and entered this later stage of life, I gradually came to realize that holding on to past mistakes was an exercise in futility. The past is immutable, and no amount of regret can alter what has already transpired. What matters, instead, is the way in which we choose to move forward from those experiences. With this understanding, I made a conscious decision to let go of the lingering regrets that had burdened me for so long. I began to see that the mistakes of the past, rather than defining me, were opportunities for growth and learning. Each misstep had taught me valuable lessons about resilience, about the importance of self-forgiveness, and about the inherent imperfection of the human condition. By releasing the grip of regret, I discovered a renewed sense of peace, a liberating realization that the past need not dictate the quality of my present or the promise of my future. Forgiving myself for the errors I had committed was not an act of forgetting, but rather an affirmation that I was worthy of happiness and capable of growth. This process of letting go has enabled me to focus on the positive aspects of my life, to cherish the opportunities that still lie ahead, and to embrace each new day with a heart unburdened by the weight of bygone mistakes. Perhaps one of the most liberating insights that has emerged for me in my 60s is the understanding that it is impossible and ultimately unnecessary to try to please everyone. Throughout our lives, many of us invest tremendous energy in the pursuit of approval from others, often at the expense of our own well-being. We find ourselves caught in a relentless cycle of striving to meet the expectations of those around us, whether they are family members, friends, colleagues, or even casual acquaintances. This constant need for external validation can become an oppressive burden, forcing us to compromise our own desires and values in order to fit into a mold that has been prescribed for us by society. For a long time, I devoted much of my energy to trying to live up to these external expectations, often losing sight of my own needs and aspirations in the process. However, as I have grown older, I have come to understand that it is both unrealistic and unwise to attempt to satisfy everyone's demands. I have learned that true fulfillment comes not from the endless pursuit of approval, but from the courage to live authentically, to prioritize my own happiness and values above the fleeting opinions of others. Embracing this insight has been transformative. I have found that when I release the pressure to please everyone, I create space for genuine self-expression and personal freedom. I no longer feel compelled to tailor my actions or decisions solely for the benefit of others, and as a result, I am able to engage with life in a way that feels true to my own inner voice. This shift in perspective has allowed me to reclaim a sense of agency over my life and to recognize that my worth is not contingent upon the approval of those around me. Rather, it lies in the authenticity of my own being and the joy that comes from living in alignment with my deepest values. Another realization that has become increasingly clear to me as I have journeyed into my 60s is the necessity of prioritizing health and well-being, but doing so with a sense of balance and moderation. As we age, it is natural for concerns about our physical health to take on greater significance. The body, which once seemed invincible, now demands a more thoughtful and measured approach to care. In my younger years, I often focused on rigorous exercise regimes, strict diets, and frequent medical checkups in an effort to maintain optimal health. While these practices undoubtedly have their merits, I have come to appreciate that health is a multifaceted concept, one that encompasses not only physical fitness but also mental clarity and emotional stability. In this later stage of life, I have learned to adopt a more holistic approach to well-being. This means not only engaging in physical activities that keep the body active, whether that is through daily walks, occasional yoga sessions, or light exercise routines, but also nurturing the mind and spirit. I have found that engaging in practices such as meditation, journaling, or simply spending quality time in reflection can be just as beneficial as physical exercise. Moreover, I have come to understand that the pursuit of perfect health is less important than finding a sustainable balance that allows me to enjoy life without undue stress or pressure. I have learned to give myself permission to occasionally indulge in my favorite foods without guilt, and to savor the pleasures of life while still maintaining a commitment to overall wellness. This balanced approach has not only enhanced my physical health, but has also contributed to a deeper sense of inner peace and emotional well-being. Throughout this ongoing journey of transformation, the common thread that weaves all of these insights together is the realization that the later years of life offer an extraordinary opportunity to live authentically, free from the constraints of past expectations and external pressures. In stepping into my 60s, I have learned that it is possible to let go of the burdens that once weighed me down and to embrace a life that is defined not by the relentless pursuit of external validation or the endless cycle of busy productivity, but by a profound sense of personal freedom and contentment. Each lesson, whether it is the decision to stop worrying about the opinions of others, the choice to limit exposure to toxic influences, the acceptance of others as they are, the simplification of one's goals, the willingness to allow oneself moments of stillness, the release of past regrets, or the recognition that one cannot please everyone, has contributed to a gradual yet powerful transformation. This transformation is not marked by a single moment of epiphany, but rather by a series of small, deliberate choices that have, over time, reshaped the contours of my inner world and redefined what it means to live a fulfilling life. It is a journey marked by both introspection and outward change, a journey that invites us to be kinder to ourselves, to cherish our own unique path, and to appreciate the beauty of each moment as it unfolds. In embracing this path, I have discovered that the golden years are not a time of decline or resignation, but rather a season of liberation, one in which we are free to rediscover our true selves and to live with a quiet confidence that is rooted in self-acceptance and gratitude. Every day now feels imbued with the richness of newfound freedom, a freedom that comes from releasing the expectations that once tethered me to a life dictated by others' standards. From choosing to cultivate relationships that nurture and support my well-being, and from setting goals that are both meaningful and attainable. The shift from an external focus on achievement and validation to an internal focus on genuine contentment has been gradual and sometimes challenging, yet it has brought with it a profound sense of relief and possibility. I now recognize that life in our later years is a tapestry woven with the threads of our experiences, both joyous and painful, and that every moment is an invitation to embrace life with an open heart. This understanding has allowed me to approach each day with a quiet optimism and a deep appreciation for the present moment. A perspective that is as liberating as it is transformative. It is important to acknowledge that the journey towards this state of inner peace is not without its challenges. There have been moments of hesitation, times when the weight of old habits and ingrained beliefs threatened to pull me back into patterns of self-doubt and worry. Yet, even in those moments, I found that the lessons I had learned along the way provided me with the strength to persevere. I discovered that by acknowledging my vulnerabilities and embracing my imperfections, I could transform them into sources of resilience and wisdom. In the gentle act of self-forgiveness and in the daily practice of choosing authenticity over conformity, I have come to understand that true freedom lies not in the absence of struggle, but in the willingness to face life's challenges with an open heart and a clear mind. This journey has been one of continuous learning, a process of unlearning the habits that no longer serve me and relearning to live in a way that honors my true self. It is a journey that I now undertake with gratitude and humility, knowing that each step forward is a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. In sharing these reflections, my intention is not to present a flawless blueprint for life in our later years, but rather to offer a window into the gradual, often messy, process of personal transformation. The insights I have gained are the product of years of experience, introspection, and a willingness to challenge long-held beliefs about success, happiness, and self-worth. I hope that these words serve as a reminder that no matter where we are on our journey, it is always possible to recalibrate our lives and to choose a path that aligns more closely with our true values and desires. The freedom to live authentically, to embrace our individuality, and to prioritize our well-being is a gift that becomes ever more precious as we grow older. It is a reminder that, in the end, the only opinions that truly matter are our own, and that the journey to inner peace is paved with the choices we make each day to honor who we are. If you find these reflections to be both resonant and inspiring, please know that your engagement is deeply appreciated. Your willingness to consider these ideas and to reflect on your own experiences is a powerful affirmation that we are not alone on this journey. Each of us, in our own way, is learning to let go of the unnecessary burdens that once dictated the terms of our existence, and in doing so, we are discovering the beauty of a life lived on our own terms. As you continue along your path, may you find the courage to embrace your imperfections, the wisdom to set healthy boundaries, and the joy that comes from living authentically, free from the pressures of external validation. The journey into the golden years is one of gradual liberation, a process of continuous growth that invites us to live fully, love deeply, and celebrate the inherent beauty of our own unique stories. In the unfolding of each day, there is an invitation to start anew, to cast aside the shadows of regret and self-doubt, and to step into the light of self-acceptance. It is a reminder that every experience, whether marked by joy or sorrow, contributes to the rich tapestry of our lives. The lessons learned in letting go of the need to please everyone, in setting boundaries with those who do not contribute positively to our well-being, and in simplifying our goals to focus on what truly matters, all converge to form a philosophy of living that is as liberating as it is empowering. I have found that in relinquishing the pressures of the past and the expectations of others, I have been able to create a space for genuine connection, creativity, and the quiet satisfaction that comes from knowing who I truly am. This space, free from the constant need for external approval, has allowed me to cultivate an inner resilience that sustains me even on the most challenging days. It is this resilience, born of years of introspection and the gradual dismantling of outdated beliefs, that now guides me as I navigate the complexities of life in my later years. As I reflect on the myriad ways in which this journey has transformed my perspective, I am filled with a deep sense of gratitude for the freedom that comes with embracing life on my own terms. Each day presents a new opportunity to savor the richness of existence, to appreciate the simple pleasures that often go unnoticed in the rush of youth, and to find beauty in the quiet moments of stillness. In choosing to let go of the need for constant productivity and external validation, I have discovered that the true measure of success lies not in what I achieve, but in the quality of the life I lead and the authenticity with which I live it. It is a truth that has gradually revealed itself through the accumulation of small, deliberate choices, each one a step towards a more balanced, fulfilling existence. This transformation is not a destination but an ongoing journey, one that continues to evolve with every new experience and every lesson learned along the way. In sharing these thoughts, I invite you to consider the possibility that your own path may be enriched by a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you, to set aside the need for perpetual busyness, and to embrace a way of living that honors your true self. The insights I have shared are not prescriptive formulas, but rather personal reflections. Fragments of a journey that is as much about the process of self-discovery as it is about the destination of inner peace. I hope that, in reading these words, you find echoes of your own experiences and are encouraged to explore the freedom that lies in living authentically and unapologetically. May you come to realize that the journey into your 60s and beyond is not defined by loss or resignation, but by the remarkable opportunity to reclaim your identity, to rediscover your passions, and to celebrate the unique story that is yours alone. Your willingness to engage with these reflections is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the enduring quest for meaning and fulfillment. As you continue on your journey, I hope you find inspiration in the simple truth that every day offers a new beginning, a chance to let go of old burdens, to set aside unrealistic expectations, and to embrace the beauty of life in its most authentic form. It is my sincere wish that these words serve as a gentle reminder that you are not defined by the opinions of others, that the past does not dictate your future, and that true freedom comes from within. In the quiet moments of reflection, may you discover the joy of simply being, the comfort of self-acceptance, and the peace that arises when you allow yourself to live as your truest self. Thank you for taking the time to read these reflections and for allowing these words to become a part of your own journey. May you continue to move forward with a heart full of gratitude, a spirit unburdened by the weight of others' expectations, and a deep, abiding sense of peace that comes from living in alignment with your most genuine self.